Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And we bring you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Billy Capistrano. And tonight's game plan. We'll break down the 2022 NBA All-Star reserves from the East and the West. Did your player make the cut?
And we'll also catch up with UE's season 75 and 76 courtside reporter Katz Salao and listen to her stories from the courtside. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. It's official. The NBA has announced the final list of reserves for the 2022 NBA All-Star Game. Take a look at the Eastern Conference reserves. Jimmy Butler, Darius Garland, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Jason Tatum, and Fred VanVleet all make the cut. A few snubs there. We'll get to that later. But over on the West, Devin Booker, Luka Doncic, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, and Kat form the reserves for the West. Again, a few snubs there as well. We'll get to that. And to do so, now joining us to talk about the reserves as well as the names who did not make the list, our resident Mr. Hot Takes, Jello Vito. Jello, sana lang, hindi tayo mag-aaway ngayon.
Hindi. I hope not.
Hindi ko alam, parang may hidden agenda si Jello. Nakikita mo, hindi pa lang, oh. Parang ready na siyang awayan si Pao.
Oo, pang kontrabida yung ngiti niya eh.
I hope we agree, Pao. I hope we really agree with this list.
Okay.
All right, to start things off, Jello, let's start with the East reserves. You gave us a couple of names that really stood out in your opinion, starting with, of course, Darius Garland from the Cavs. Why are you so excited to watch him?
Yeah, first of all, it's just his third year in the league, and he's been anchoring the Cleveland Cavs this season. He's averaging close to 20 points a game and close to 9 assists a game. Again, when Colin Sexton got down with the injury, he stepped up. And with that, I really think that he deserves it. He deserves that All-Star spot.
Yeah, you look at the Cavs, I think it's fair to say that deserving that team to at least have one All-Star. Honestly, some people might have argued they could have had two. Yung sa palagay mo, the reason why they picked Darius Garland over a Jarrett Allen, who really had a shout to be part of yung listahan na yan?
Well, for me, putting Jarrett Allen there, parang medyo, in terms of All-Star festivities and all that, parang boring eh.
So hindi siya All-Star player, yan yung rason mo. Hindi siya pang All-Star.
Hindi naman hindi siya pang All-Star. I mean, yes, he puts up numbers, he anchors the defense for the Cavs, but again, for showmanship and flashy stuff with the All-Star game, okay. I really don't think he would be flashy or be in the All-Star game. But again, if given the chance next season, maybe there's a case for him next season.
Okay, sige. All right, Bill, let's go on.
Well, starting off strong. Now, Jello, aside from Garland, you also mentioned Fred VanVleet from Toronto and Zach LaVine from the Bulls as your must-watch players from the East. Now, why do you say this? What about their style of play makes them so exciting to watch, especially in the All-Star game?
Well, for Fred VanVleet, again, you gotta be rooting for this guy. He's undrafted. He played in the G League for a couple of years. He became a starting point guard. And then you will see his growth as a player. He became an NBA champion and now an All-Star. I mean, again, like what he always says, bet on yourself. Like, he's the epitome of betting on yourself right now. And for Zach LaVine, he's a second-time All-Star. And kasi the conversation with Zach LaVine is like he's being overshadowed somewhat by DeMar DeRozan right now. But again, expected rin naman na he's gonna make it to the All-Star team. But yun nga, medyo nawala lang siya sa conversation na he should be a top guy sa All-Star. I mean, to be a starter even because of DeMar DeRozan. But again, gotta give it to him. I mean, talagang it will be a given na he's gonna be an All-Star.
Yeah, see Fred VanVleet, I think in particular is very interesting kasi a lot of people are saying that he is an analytics darling. Lahat ng mga advanced stats, he leads it in almost every category in the league. So having him there, it just goes to show playing winning basketball and contributing everywhere really does play a big factor. Pero syempre, it all came at a cost, and that is the snubs that we're gonna get to later. But before we get to the snubs, let's focus on the guys who are here first. Billy, take us to the West.
All right, let's move on to the West. This time things are about to get a little bit interesting, Jello. So you zoned in on a couple of big names as well. Siyempre, simulan na natin. To si Pao matutuwa with Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz. Why is he a player to watch out for in the All-Star game?
I mean, Donovan Mitchell, again, it's a given. I mean, everyone knows he's going to make it to the All-Star team.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly kasi people are saying na parang medyo yung laro niya medyo bumaba. But again, he's the star for the Jazz. I mean, he's been that guy ever since. And I really don't have any reason na he won't make it to the All-Star team. I mean, he's been playing well, kahit medyo tahimik, but I mean, obvious naman, Donovan Mitchell's that guy. So
Yes,
I was ready to fight, but then he said good things. Like I was gonna put on my glasses to fight him and take him on, but then I guess I'm just putting this on now, pamporma kasi wala, I don't need to fight Jello on that. Pero let's move on to some other names here in the West. So much to talk about here kasi there are also snubs in this area, but then Billy, he wanted to single out a couple more people.
Yeah, there are two more names from the West that you wanted to talk about, Jello. So mainly Devin Booker from the Suns and Karl Anthony Towns from the Timberwolves. Now, do you think that they're going to ball out and pop off in the All-Star game? What is your prediction?
Devin Booker for sure will ball out, even though he's not a starter. Dapat starter siya. I really feel that he's supposed to be a starter. But again, knowing Devin Booker, he's gonna try to prove himself there. Kahit All-Star game na he's gonna prove himself na, no, I deserve that starting spot. So I'm really excited for him. And as for Karl Anthony Towns, I mean, he's improved a lot. Like over the years, he's been a threat not only inside in the post but also in the outside this season. I mean, he stopped scoring for the Timberwolves this season, and I'm really excited for this guy. I mean, he's his third time in the All-Star game. Let's see what he can do this All-Star game.
Yeah. Karl Anthony Towns always. I think he's a guy that I feel has yet to even sniff his ceiling because he's just. I think that if you put him in a playoff situation, we're gonna see another level of Karl Anthony Towns. We haven't seen that much yet, but then here for the All-Star game, I remember when he first got his first pick, and then he ended up crying, and then was very emotional about it. It's becoming a more of a regular thing right now, seeing Karl Anthony Towns as a All-Star. So hopefully, we also get an All-Star performance when it come the All-Star game itself, because he has the potential to be one of the more exciting players out there. But as much as we like talking about the guys who actually made it, Bill, let's go to the more fun part of the segment. The guys who didn't make it.
Siyempre, now it's time to move on to our favorite part of the body. Jello's picks for our All-Star Reserve snubs. Now, Jello, you gave us three names, right? LaMelo Ball, Jaylen Brown, and Domantas Sabonis. But, syempre, we're going to focus our attention doon sa biggest name na a lot of, on people's minds, na sabi nila, bakit wala to doon sa listahan na yan? So, syempre, who else but LaMelo Ball from the Hornets?
Yeah.
Why do you think he deserves to be in his first All-Star game? Kasi balita ko, nung nakita mo yung lista yon, grabe daw yung reaction mo. Hindi ka natuwa.
Wala siya.
Hindi ka natuwa talaga.
Hindi talaga. Like, when they asked me to make the list, yun na tinanong ko, bakit wala si LaMelo Ball? I mean, LaMelo Ball he's been balling out ever since the start of the season. Siya yung feel ko na kailangan sa isang All-Star game because he's flashy, he's very medyo dramatic. I mean, ang dami niyang pwedeng antics na gawin sa All-Star game. I mean, kahit yung mga games niya right now with the Hornets, pang All-Star. I mean, and he's been scoring a lot. Nakaka-career high niya lang kanina the other day with 38 points. I mean, come on. Pang All-Star talaga yung caliber niya ni LaMelo Ball, even if it's his second year. But yeah. I don't know what happened to I mean, I really want him to be in the All-Star kahit reserve kasi nga, ang dami niyang pwedeng gawin.
Yeah, I agree completely. Amongst the other picks that you made, Jalen Brown, Domantas Sabonis. I personally don't think that Jalen Brown uh, should be making that list. I think Domantas Sabonis is also supposed to be in the discussion, but then maybe next year. He's been there a lot anyway, so I don't think this is too much of a loss for him in that regard. But yeah, Lamelo Ball, honestly, the biggest snub over in the East. And could you imagine if kung na-draft si Lamelo Ball alongside Ja Morant, how fun that would have been seeing the two of them together. But
Yes.
unfortunately, unless things change, we won't have that combination. But Jello, if you look at the entire list between the two reserves for the East and the West, sa palagay mo ba the All-Star MVP is on that list?
Not now. I really feel na it's always in the starters. Lagi yan. But again, we'll see. Maybe Booker. I don't know for the West. Maybe some other guy in the East. Maybe who knows? Kahit siguro yung first time na All-Star. Baka mag-MVP pa. Who knows? But I'm really excited for this coming All-Star game.
All right, sounds good. Jello, again, thank you very much for joining us. We didn't fight today. My glasses weren't, hindi nag-fog up. It was supposed to fog up kung nagalit ako.
Wala
Pero,
kang binatong papel. Thank God. Wala kang binatong papel.
all right. Well, again, Jello, salamat ulit. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
Now, after the break, we'll catch up with UE Season 75 and 76 Courtside reporter Katz Salao and listen to her stories from the courtside. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Hello, everyone who's watching over on Facebook Live. That was Jello Vito with his takes all over on the All-Star Reserves front. Siyempre, the discussion typically fell to LaMelo Ball. Bakit wala siya doon? I personally feel the same way. But that will do it for that. And of course, up next, we have a more UAAP courtside talk here. Katz Salao joining us in just a bit.
Yes.
And Billy, I think you're close.
Yes, we are both instructors. We teach indoor cycling, and we're in the same batch of courtside reporters. Katz is the best. I'm sure we're gonna have a pretty fun talk.
You're
She's one
not
of the
tired of her yet?
Sorry,
You're not tired of her yet?
of course not. She's one of
Okay.
the most insightful people I know. So for sure, magiging masaya yung usapan natin. Bet on
That's
it.
great. 100%. And syempre, it's always a pleasure taking a trip down memory lane. And of course, maybe the younger courtsides or the prospective courtsides can get inspiration from talks like this. All that when we return. Katsalo up next.
Welcome back to The Game. I'm Billy Capistrano. With the upcoming return of the UAAP, excitement has been building up with the UAAP Courtside Reporter editions closing on Sunday, February 6th. To find out more about the triumphs and challenges of being a courtside reporter, we have UE's reporter from seasons 75 and 76, my courtside sister, Katz Salao. Hello, Katz, and welcome to The Game.
Hello! Oh my goodness! Hi guys, what's up?
Hello.
All right, let me just check it out. Wow, I was just watching you guys, and now I'm here. I'm so honored. Thanks for having me.
No. The pleasure's all ours, Katz.
Yes,
Grabe yung energy level niya, Billy. We have to match it.
Kaya nga
Ay, sorry.
like ikaw usap si Katz. I told Pao, Katz, you're one of the most insightful people I know. So any conversation I have with you, I always learn something. That's why we're so happy to have you here. Anyway, let's start things off pretty easy. Your audition story, because it's a bit different from the other stories that we've heard. I mean, I actually looked at the old courtside emails. I looked at yung parang announcement email na, hey, you got it. This is the school you're going to be assigned to. At napansin ko, wala yung pangalan mo sa UE. It was another person.
Oh,
I
girl.
remember I called you a few days after, right? A few days after they came up with a roster, and you already accepted that you didn't get the spot. So how was that like for you when they called you again and said, "Hey, you got it, pala"?
Yes, that was the story. You're right. A few days after I said, or they said, "Now, okay, you didn't get it anymore." I was really in the process of like, okay, I didn't get it, and it's okay. I auditioned. Maybe I wasn't prepared. Maybe next year. But the first thing I felt when they told me that I got in again was gratitude. Like sobrang thankful. Na parang wow. Um, it was a slot meant for someone else, but for some reason, the stars aligned and they gave it to me, and I was like, wow. And so my next feeling was, I gotta make the most out of this. I have to use whatever blessing this is. Diba? It was already taken away from me, and then biglang it's back.
Yeah.
And diba, maximize it. And I think people don't realize, or even if you really think about it, there are only 8 girls who get to do this every single year for the UAAP, and to be one of those 8 during that season, during any season, diba? It's really just a memorable moment na until now, 10 years later, I hold on to and I keep.
Why did you
Well,
say 10? Like, expose me.
Kasi,
accidentally aging
let's be
yourself.
real.
Oh. Pero Kat, it's funny because not only did you discover that you're going to be part of the UAAP later than the others, again, different path, but you also found out that you're going to represent a school that wasn't your own. And other people also saw that and said that not sure if for UP or UE, and all of that. Ano yung reaction mo after you got over the fact, uy, nakapasok na ako, but then that you had to report on a school that I'm not sure prior to that you've even been to.
You are right. I never set foot in UEPA at that time. And I just want to say that UP was my dream school. Like it was really, ever since I really wanted to go there. But being a courtside reporter for UP was not part of that dream. So, the courtside is just the cherry on top of it. Because for me, it was like, oh, the courtside reporter, I just didn't see myself that way. I wasn't a host back then. And I think I could resonate with girls who are just, feeling like, kaya ko ba to? And what I'm trying to tell you is, kaya nyo yan, try nyo lang, okay? But yun, the challenge of reporting for a different school, it was pretty challenging because I had to really, go to UE, which was very close to where UP was. I had to immerse myself. I had to be saling kit in a way, but also be able to represent them really well. And as much as I love UP, towards, after the second round, because first round ng UP UE, medyo, ano pa ako parang who am I gonna cheer for, diba? I want them both. Pero when it went to the second round na and throughout the next season, I was really like, UE or nothing. Ganun talaga. So, yun yung challenge.
Right, and Katz, syempre, speaking of reporting for another school, ito na. Ito na yung fun part, and we discussed this off air. Let's do
Yeah.
this. So you had an iconic moment in cheer dance, and you talked about historical, the first ever. Well, this was something you talked about with Bea Fab in your podcast. So in cheer dance, you had a little bit of a fumble. I don't know if people remember, but what happened during that moment? What were you thinking after it happened, and how did you bounce back from all of that?
All right. So if you are a UAP fan, you know this moment. It is during cheer dance. We were introducing the courtside, I mean the teams. Adrenaline was up. And I thought, what better way to showcase my skills to really cheer for the team, but do some gymnastics, right? No one has done it before, diba?
Mhm.
And honestly, it was because also, diba, when we enter as courtside reporters, during the intro, it's the time that the teams get to hear how loud the team their school is for them, diba?
Yeah.
Sobrang they're in, imagine this, as a cheer dance competitor, you're in the lockers and everyone's watching, 15,000 people plus live television, and you just want to be supported, right? And so I wanted to do that for UE. I wanted to give them like this napaka wow from the beginning pa lang, cheer na talaga sila. Pero kamali ako. A little, yeah. And if you watch the video, there is a video of this. You
Yeah.
see my shoulders shrug. I kind of like sink into myself. And if you ask me now, do I remember exactly how I made up for it by just, saying some random sentence and still getting through it? No, I don't remember. But I would like to credit our courtside training for, that whole year, that kasi kailangan sobrang bilis mo gumawa ng reports. Kailangan lahat ng details alam mo agad. Tapos you have 30 seconds to a minute in front of the camera, super quick. If you get bulol, what are you gonna do? I want to credit those experiences of mine to get for this. It made up. It helped me, and until now, it is still probably the most embarrassing moment that has happened in my life. Perhaps also to the lives of the people who care about me, but I wouldn't change it. Like I would,
Yeah.
it's something that I keep, and it's because of that if I make a mistake in the future, nothing, if I got through that, right? Which I also want to share with everyone. If I got through that, then you can get through anything. Yun.
Alam mo, Katz, you just hit the nail on the head there, especially with giving advice for the future generation of courtside reporters. But we're running out of time here. But before we let you go, I want to remind everyone that see Billy is actually the UAP courtside reporter search and training lead. So for the future courtside reporters, Katz, what's your advice for them for dealing with Billy? Kasi that is
Oh!
going to be really interesting.
I
Okay,
think
Katz
you're
na
gonna
yan.
have so
You
much
can't
fun.
do that.
Yeah, you're gonna have so much fun. Lalo na if it's Billy who's gonna guide you through it. And I think for everyone, just have a mindset of growth. You're here, and it's not, once you get in, you have to learn. There's so much learning to be done, most especially from courtside reporters like Billy, most especially her. So just welcome it, don't be afraid. And when you make a mistake, just keep going. Just keep going.
Perfect there, Katz. Katz, maraming salamat. Thank you very much for making my
Nice
partner
one.
look good.
Thank
Billy, she
you.
is a friend nga. She's a
I
true
know.
friend.
We're like this
Okay.
nga. You can't shake us talaga.
All right. Thank you, Katz.
Thank you.
So when we return, my partner, the UAP Courtside Reporter Search and Training Lead, Billy Capistrano, gives her final call for the next batch of CSRs. Keep it here. You're watching the game. Ladies and gentlemen, that last question was not on the script, so the shock you saw on my partner's face was
It was
very
real.
real. Oo. Sabi ko, you know what? In this next body, na-inspire kasi ako sa presidential forum kanina. So mamaya pang presidente yung mga tanong ko. It'll be about how the GDP functions into the search for the next CSR and all of that. Of course, all joking aside, we are all talking about the courtside reporters and their search when we return. So keep it here. Welcome back to the game. Apologies, Rosario. Now, this is our final call for the next batch of UAP courtside reporters. Now is your chance to audition. If you are 18 to 23 years old, currently enrolled in a UAAP school, and fluent in both English and Tagalog, submit your CV and a 90-second headshot with brief introduction and why you want to be a courtside reporter. to the emails on your screens on or before February 6th, just 2 days away, 2022. Now, here to give us an update on how the auditions are going and the team's goals for the next batch of courtside reporters, we have UAP CSR Search and Training Lead, my partner, Billy Capistrano. Billy, I know you promised one-word questions because I made fun
Joke
of you
lang
last
yun,
time
syempre.
around. But, kamusta naman yung auditions and dumami ba yung mga auditionees as the deadline is approaching?
You know how I feel about this, Pao. I was talking to you even before. Actually, sa start, kinakabahan ako kasi wala talaga nag-audition. Wala talaga send in ng applications nila. So, it was pretty crazy. I was kind of thinking, baka kailangan ako na yung maging courtside kasi nga wala nagsasend in ng CVs, the videos. But then, you know what? Kids these days, grabe mag-procrastinate dahil the past few days from getting just 1 to 2 applications a day, we've been getting like 10 to 15. It has just been overwhelming, nakakataba ng puso because, these college kids, despite everything that's happening, they're still following their dreams. So auditions are pretty good. We have around 100 plus submissions, which is a very, very good number. And it makes it even more difficult because we have to cut that number down, obviously, to just 8.
Siyempre, it's gonna be difficult process, I'm sure. Pero, siyempre, this is an exciting time for courtside reporters kasi this is the first UAP season we're gonna have in over 2 years. So when you look at the qualities to usher in this momentous occasion for the UAAP, what are you looking for?
Well, aside from the usual, kailangan eloquent, fluent in English and Filipino, and cool, calm, and collected during pressure-packed situations. Siyempre, we want hardworking college students as well. But aside from those, there are actually 3 characteristics. You guys, if you're interested in auditioning, please listen up. There are 3 characteristics that we're really looking for in courtside reporter aspirants. Number 1, you have to be tough and committed. You have to put in the reps, even if it's hard, because this time around, it is going to be challenging, very, very challenging compared to the years prior. And then second, you have to be service oriented because you have to remember that you always have to put the team first. It's never going to be about you, especially now, diba, na ang tagal ng break ng UAAP. So all these athletes, they have so many stories to share. And you are in charge of sharing those stories to the fans. And you always have to highlight the team and the athletes because they are going to be the superstars. Sila yung star ng show, never you. And also, they have to be sincere. And I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. If you are not well-versed in sports or basketball, that's fine. But you should be willing to learn and your intentions have to be pure. And we can sense it sa video pa lang.
Yeah, and of course, Bill, this is going to be a different season dahil sa pandemya. We're not even quite sure how the season's gonna function this year. But how will that change or alter yung experience ng mga prospective or future courtside reporters that you're gonna have?
Well, Pao, I can't really give you a definitive answer on why it's going to be different. As I've mentioned, I just know that it's going to be more challenging because syempre yung guidelines natin and yung safety protocols, they are ever changing, always changing. We have nothing set in stone just yet. But when I say it's going to be challenging, it's because we're not sure kung madaming interaction with the team this time around. Unlike before, diba, na you can come up to them during class or during your breaks, you can interview. So now it's going to be a little bit different just because we don't know the flow of everything or kung anong pwede at kung anong hindi.
Bill, your last call to the person watching right now who is still not sure or procrastinating on their 90-second video. Go, you have 90 seconds.
Grabe naman yun. But I am prepared. I have my spiel right here para naman focused ako. Anyway,
Go.
Hi everyone, I'm Billy and I'm the UAAP Courtside Reporter Search and Training Lead for Season 84. Now, if you are 18 to 23 years old, currently enrolled in any UAAP school, and you think you have what it takes to be the next courtside reporter, I am encouraging you to send in your CV and a 90-second video telling us a bit about yourself and why you want to be the next courtside reporter. Send it to uaap@signaltv.com.ph. Now, if you're looking for a sign, okay, I'm telling you, this is it. You got to take that big step because you never know. It might just lead you to the courtside. Back to you, Pao.
See, that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? Again, excited to see the next batch. But before we go, Billy, The Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics opening ceremony is happening tonight. You can catch it live at 7:45 p.m. on One Sports and via Signal Channel 198 SD and 298 HD on the Beijing Olympics pop-up channels.
Now, thank you for joining us. I'm Billy Capistrano.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paolo Del Rosario, and if you're a future Courtside reporter, we'll see you soon. This has been The Game.